Okay, look at that. Ta-da! All right, I made it. Under the wire. It's what, 11:45 or 8, a couple minutes late, sorry. But I made it under the wire. I got a shower, I'm refreshed. It was only a 16-hour day. Day number 3, 16 hours. But I'm good. I'm good. Jazz and Rib Festival did not kick my ass today like it did yesterday. So I'm ready to go, primed, ready to go. I even had a little time to get some stuff written tonight. So how's that? Um, Sorry, my watch broke today, so I'm having problems with my watch band. I've got some liquid, so I'm happy about that. Ah, there you go. Hey, thanks for being here. Glad you made it, even though it's late. I know it's late. Sorry. How are we doing, Don? It's like you planned it that way. It is. I tried to plan it that way. Truly, I did. Um, let's get into some things so I can like get my mind back to working. Today was National Play Day. I think those happen more than once a month. I think it's like Get Out and Play Day. I'm gonna have to look and see that. It feels like I've done this before. National Play Day. National Daiquiri Day. Did not have any daiquiris today. Sorry, there was no daiquiris in my immediate future. It was National Retainer Day. I didn't look into what that meant. I guess people retainers. You're it's the day for retainers. Why? Why? I mean, I did the Invisalign things, but retainers, like, what the hell? Why do they need a day? No one needs a day for your retainer. You wear it, you don't. Okay. National Words with Friends. I didn't get time to read what that is, so I don't know. I talked to my friend Dave today. I had words with him. There you go. Ta-da! Words. I had just words now with Don. He's my friend. Ta-da! I had words with Don. Okay, is that good? I don't understand what that means. And toss away could'ves, would'ves, and should'ves. Okay, so yeah, I could have been, a contender. That seems like a dumb one. I guess, I was watching an interesting show. It was on something. I don't know if it was a TikTok or YouTube, whatever. It was a very brief little thing, and it was a professor in front of a class, and he had a glass of water in his hand. He said, "How much does this weigh?" And students were like, 16 ounces, 12 ounces, 8 ounces, 16 ounces a pound. And he goes, doesn't matter. Because that's not what it is. Because it weighs what it weighs. And if I hold it here now, it weighs the same as it does in a minute. But if I hold it an hour from now, it feels like it's more. And if I hold it on to it for 6 hours, it's even heavier. And if I hold it on to it for an entire day, my arm will want to fall off. It hasn't changed the amount of liquid in the glass, but it has changed the weightiness of it. He was referring to would'ves, could'ves, and should'ves and holding on to things, which I found to be extremely profound. And I've said that to a couple of people already, because it is. It is. If you hold on to something, it's a mobile game like Scrabble. Oh, okay. Now I get it. I didn't have that. Thank you for that clarification, Don. Words with Friends is a mobile game. All right, so it was a sponsored thing. Anyway, so I found it to be a very profound kind of statement that holding on to things in your life makes them weighty, so you have to let things go. You can't hold on to grudges. You can't hold on to hate. You can't hold on to things that weigh you down, because eventually the weight of them becomes overwhelming, which makes perfect sense if you think about it. It's just sort of like the filling up a glass with rocks. Is it full? Yes, it's full. You pour smaller rocks in. Is it full? Yes, it's full. You pour sand into it. Is it full? Yes, it's full. You pour water into it. Yes, is it full? It's full. Because you can keep filling it. So no, it's not full. And then the other one was, I don't remember the exact wording, but it was about spilling a cup of tea. If someone bumps into you and they spill the tea, well, why did you spill on tea on me? Well, they didn't spill the tea on you. They only spilled out of it what was in the cup. If there was vodka in the cup, they would have spilled vodka on you. So it's not about what is spilled. Not what is it. It's what is spilled out because of what you put into it. So what you put in is what is going to come out. So this sort of falls into the same line of that profound saying of toss away the would'ves, could'ves, should'ves in your life, which I try and do. So I think that's a very profound one. So yes, words to live by. Okay. So that's a good one. Tomorrow is National Moon Day. Now, that ironically corresponds with the day that the person put his foot on the moon and made the infamous footprint. So there you go. That is why it's National Moon Day tomorrow. Also Pennsylvania Day, ironically, because guess what? It's when it became a state. Lollipop Day, don't know why. It's just lollipops. Didn't look, didn't care. Fortune Cookie Day, which, okay, I'm sure they need a day too. Fortune cookies. And Ice Cream Day. I will absolutely have ice cream tomorrow as well. I had ice cream today. I actually had strawberry cheesecake, and I had, now this was a weird one. I had sweet potato cheesecake. Okay, at first I was like, I'll get strawberry. I don't want to try it. I tried a bite of the person that I was with that got it. Damn it, I should have gotten it. It was so good. It tasted like a really heavy, rich pumpkin pie. But because it didn't taste like sweet potato, it tasted like pumpkin pie. It was so good. I will have to get that tomorrow because it was better than the strawberry cheesecake. I regretted my decision. It was just, I don't want to, nope, totally regret it. Bad decision. Should have gotten that. But I will have ice cream tomorrow because I found those ice cream vendors at the Jazz and Rib Festival, and I'm all about that. I did have ice cream yesterday, did not have ice cream today. Okay, things that happened today. Tom and Jerry debuted in 1941. I always watch Tom and Jerry. Again, remember, I love cartoons. I'm always a cartoon guy. I do that all the time, watch cartoons. 1995, Clueless was released, and that was based on a book, believe it or not, Jane Austen book. I think it was called Emma. Who knew? Star Trek's second pilot was shot, 1965. 2007, Mad Men was debuted. Now, I got to meet John Hamm. This is a funny story. So I got invited to, and this was when I was with the station. I know, so many things with the station, but that's 35 years of my past life. So lots of things connected. Sorry. I got invited to go to the National Hockey League draft, which was in Vegas, of all places, right? And we went out to Vegas, and I went with some with people from the Columbus Blue Jackets because I was the team. We were the radio voice of them, the affiliate, so I got to go to this thing. Now, we may have gone out and had some fun the one night. Wound up going to the Ice Bar, which is a bar that is 0 degrees inside. They give you like big, overcoats and thermal coats, and all the drinks come in like ice glasses. Like there's no glass, it's ice. Everything's made with ice because it's that cold. And I may have had imbibed a little bit, and there was a bachelor party going on, and everyone took their shirts off, and of course I took my shirt off and drank vodka with these guys, and it was fun, but I was not having it the next day. Just we went to the draft, and it was just it was not my day, let's put it that way, because it was like, hey, we're doing this and this, get up, we have to go to the early breakfast. And I've told you the story before about junkets. Okay, the rule of a junket is if you're going to accept going to one, no matter what, you have to accept the consequences of your actions the next day, no matter what. You cannot miss or be late or whatever. It doesn't matter. If you it's sort of like Beretta said, don't do the crime if you can't do, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. I was feeling it. Okay. Did not want to be sitting in this auditorium. It's like, I was going to be here. And I'm like, I just wanted to please let me go back to the room, turn off everything, including like my brain, and not deal with anything. That wasn't happening. Okay. So we did this whole thing, and then we had to go to this event, and John Hamm's there. And we get, John Hamm's super nice. Get to meet John Hamm. And the Stanley Cup's there. Now the Stanley Cup was in the middle of a pool and, on display. Now this was a highfalutin kind of everyone's dressed up party. And, everyone's hang around John Hamm because he was popular at the time, because this was a few years after this, but not recently enough. So it's a few years back from now, maybe, I don't know, maybe even 10 at this point. I don't know. I'd have to look at when the draft was. But it was very nice. So, got to very briefly meet him because, everyone was kind of like glad handing John Hamm because they're big there. But while we were talking, sort of like, it's Johnny Hamm, a girl jumps in this pool and makes a beeline for the Stanley Cup, like she's going to swim for it. I have no idea where these dudes were that intercepted her, but these guys were like Johnny Weissmiller, who I think made a record today or something, a connection. These guys were like, whoom, 2 strokes, nabbed her. Because she was like her hands going out of the water to touch the cup, and they're just like, and out of the pool with her and marched her away. But it was epic. Like I said, these guys were so fast. I don't know if they were in the water already, hiding like in the corners, because I didn't see anybody jump in. At least I don't remember anybody jumping in, because there was no other splashing except for her, because everyone started screaming, because she dove in, and also I was like, ah! This huge, outdoor Vegas party, and this girl's swimming for the Stanley Cup. And like I said, these guys were just on her. But that sort of interrupted my saying hello to John Hamm. So it was sort of staying there like, oh, nice to see you. It's like, oh, nice to see you. And this splash happens, and then all the commotion, and it kind of cut that whole interaction short. But it was funny. Sugar on the sweet potato cheesecake. Sounds like you're hanging. Yeah, no kidding. I definitely have that regret. I should have gotten that. Good call, Don. Good call. But yeah, so Mad Men in 2007 premiered. Now, other things happened. 1954, Elvis released That's All Right, and that was a cover. That's all right, mama. This was a funny one I found out. Allman Brothers roadie was sentenced to 75 years in jail because, on the word of Allman, told that he was a drug dealer for the band. So the guy got 75 years for it. Wow. Talk about ratting out your source. Yeah, my roadie for the band is our drug dealer. So, send him to jail, not me. Note to self, don't sell drugs as a roadie. Just so you know. Okay? That's all I'm going to tell you. That was Greg Allman did that. He basically threw his roadie under the bus. 1976, Deep Purple ends. Good old Smoke in the Water. No more. And then, of course, in 1969, it was the moon landing. So that's why it's Moon Day today. Birthdays, Anthony Edwards from ER. He's been in a couple other things. Benedict Cumberbatch. I always liked his name. His birthday is today. Brian May of Queen. That was always a good reference for things. Brian May of Queen. A good band. Watched a couple of the movies that have come out recently about that, and yeah, it's always good. They were a good band. Definitely like them. And then Alan Collins of Leonard Skinner. Not one of the guys that survived the plane crash. We talked about a birthday of someone else recently, and he was the drummer. He was the only one who survived it, but Alan Collins did not, unfortunately, survive the Leonard Skinner plane crash debacle that took care of all of them. Deaths today, not a lot. I think rock stars and movie stars don't die in the summer because they're on vacation. They're not doing shows or stuff, which means they're, doing whatever they shouldn't be doing to be in tip-top performance shape. Because it just seems there's less, my only analysis, there's less deaths, it seems, of rock stars and musicians right now. Dorothy McHugh died today. It was the anniversary of her death. And who is that? I've fallen and I can't get up. She got a death listing. So again, she made enough of an iconic impression on history from her Life Alert commercial of I've fallen and I can't get up. At first I had to read that twice, like, oh, right. Yes, the Life Alert lady, which, again, that made me laugh. James Garner, Rockford Files, James Garner, he passed away on this date. And Rutger Hauer, we talked about that for a minute. Rutger Hauer, he was in a ton of movies. When I looked at his discography, I was actually blown away, like, how many damn movies this guy was in? He was in a lot. He always played a bad guy, though. If you remember him at all, he always played a bad guy. But again, his most iconic role apparently was, in fact, this, from Blade Runner. And it's written as one of the most iconic sort of epilogue moments in movie history even. This is when he was Roy Batty and he was on the roof. Harrison Ford was about to fall and he grabs him and Roy says the words, "I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in the rain. Time to die." And that is, I guess, one of the most iconic things. And it had the whole explanation of how that is, the empathy and what it meant and everything. And it's just one of those really interesting things. He wrote that. He actually edited himself and kind of ad-libbed that part of it at the end. So I think that's kind of cool that, it's something that's remembered for all time for something iconic in a movie like that. Fun fact I learned today about the actor who played the new Superman. David Croner's grandfather is Edward Packard, the creator of the Choose Your Own Adventure book. Series wrote over 50. Fun. That is a fun fact. I did not get that fact today. Sorry. That was not in my list of fact things that I found today. My bad. Hey, remember, this just happened again. Episode 7 in Chicago. Now, the funny thing is, so we watched it today's Saturday, 2 days ago. I watched it when I was at the Jazz and Rib Festival with a couple of people I was working with. And I shared the little hot cards that we got. I saved a whole bunch of them when we were out on the road. And I gave the QR code to a couple of people. I now have like obsessed people that are like, "Oh my God, I watched every episode last night. I binged them." I'm like, "Oh, okay." They're like, "Oh my God, you're so funny. I love the fact you should be an actor. You should do this, this, this." I'm like, "Okay." They're like, "Your expression is killing me. Oh my God," when he doesn't feed you and you're just like, "Seriously?" He's like, "It's so you." He goes, "I don't, I only know you from, a couple of times of meeting you in the years before, but it's so you because it's just," so it's just kind of funny that, there's all these people now watching this because I was like, here's the QR code. You all should watch this, because the ones that are bored sitting at desks or whatever are doing nothing and binge watching it. So I found that amusing, to me at least. Doesn't have to be amusing to you, but amusing to me. I ate so much freaking food today. Now, my normal daily intake of food is fairly low. Let me tell you, okay? I get up in the morning, usually 7-ish, 8 o'clock at the latest, and I'm out the door, doing whatever I have to do. And my normal breakfast consists of a cup of coffee, a second cup of coffee, and maybe even a third as I walk out the door. A little pack of vitamins. My coffee usually consists of chocolate milk. If I don't have ice cream typically at home. So chocolate milk. I use, Fairlife chocolate milk, shake it up, put a little chocolate milk in there, and that's my sugar and my cream. That's as sweet as I make it. And that's usually breakfast. And then I will probably not eat again, like anything. I'll drink water or whatever. Maybe have another coffee. I don't know, a fourth coffee. But I probably won't eat until 5 or 7 or 8. And that's my meal. Sometimes maybe I'll have a little snack during the day. I'll eat some peanuts, or if I stop at Lowe's, my distraction habit is a bag of Fritos. I always get a bag of Fritos. It's sort of my go-to. I don't get the chips. I don't get Cheetos. It's always Fritos. And occasionally, like I said, I'll buy a thing of peanuts and I'll have peanuts. But that's it. And then 8 o'clock, I'll eat, a mountain. When I get home, I'll eat a mountain of food. A lot. I'll eat like half a meatloaf from Costco or something. But I'll eat a huge amount of food. And then that's it. That's how much I put, and that's normally how I eat. I kind of starve myself for the entire day, and then I'm rewarded with food after doing all the work, sort of this Pavlovian response. This isn't the amount of food, like I said, the amount of food I've had in like the last 3 days easily is more than I eat in a week. So I get there in the morning and they've got breakfast. Like today was a breakfast burrito. I'm like, okay, I guess I can have a breakfast burrito. Sure, why not? And it's delicious. It's made, it's got like eggs in there. Or it's like, do you want sausage or bacon? Because it's listed. I'm like, I'll take the sausage one, sure. So it's this big hunkin' burrito. So I have a burrito. And then there's fruit. So I'm like, oh, cool. I'll have some pineapple and cantaloupe and strawberries and blueberries and grapes. And, have a little cup of that. And then, of course, another cup of coffee. and that's 8 o'clock in the morning. Then I'm lucky to not get like the ribs. Someone's like, oh, have ribs because they're cooking them. They want them. Like, all right, you have a rib or two. And then at noon, it's like, and his lunch. So I deliver lunch, and it's some sort of a sandwich. Like today, it was, what was today? Chicken sandwich, I think. It was a chicken sandwich with tater tots or something. It's like, oh, great. Oh, no, it was a variant ham sandwich on a pretzel roll. I didn't get it because we were short a lunch because I had extra workers, which is a whole different thing. So I gave my lunch away, but I went back to the headquarters and I got Waldorf salad, strawberries, like spinach, I guess it is, walnuts, and some sauce, which was really good. I was amazed because I took a lot of strawberries. And then I had a marble bread ham sandwich. And then I don't know, 2.5 really chocolatey, gooey brownies, a cup of coffee, and a Gatorade. Okay. And then more snacks. It's like, oh, wait, this guy brought us, hey, I stopped at one of the 5 booths. Hey, this guy brought us French fries and ribs. And I'm like, have some. I'm like, all right. So, I'm noshing on French fries. I'm noshing on ribs. And okay, I'm, eating this. And then 5 o'clock comes and it's dinner time. So I have to deliver dinner and it's a burrito and it's nachos and this and this. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll eat that. And then it's like, oh, hey, we're going to go have snacks. We're going to have something. So I went and had a strawberry cheesecake and a little bit of this sweet potato cheesecake. And then, of course, oh, there's more snacks and more stuff. So I'm like, ugh. So I come home and I'm like, wow, I should eat food, right? Because it's my normal time to eat dinner, even though it's 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night. But I'm really not that hungry, but I'm still going to go eat something because it's just now habit. But I'm like, crap, I'm going to put on 20 pounds from working this damn thing. Because that's what happened Thursday. That's what happened Friday. That's what happened today. And that's what's going to happen tomorrow. And so I'm just not used to it. I'm just not used to eating all this food because my body's not usually built for that anymore, I guess. That's how I keep my boyish figure, by not eating all those calories every damn day. I'm sure because I'm doing so much work today, that helps. Today, my job consisted of this, and I did not videotape this because it was hot and I was busy and I just didn't deal with it. So maybe I'll get a little bit tomorrow. And I have some video, but I didn't have time to download it because I got here late. I didn't want to miss being here. So, but this was impressive, okay? So me, a girl named Corinne, a girl named Katrina, and a guy named John. 4 golf carts. We went to a semi-trailer and then divided the semi-trailer that was filled with adult beverages between 5 smaller trailers that were spread out throughout the entire site. Almost 800 cases of alcohol. 800. That's how many we had to move by hand. So that means that I moved personally at least 200 cases twice, because we had to move it from the trailer to the golf carts and then from the golf carts into these smaller trailers. So personally moved 400 cases of beer, which was nuts. It took hours and it was hot. So, the refrigerated trailer was nice, but outside was not. And, lugging these things, I'm telling you, I'm going to feel it in my shoulders for sure, because it was up here, down here, up here, down here. And it was definitely a weird movement. But that was a major portion of my day, literally moving 800 cases of Vizzy and iced tea and lemonade and Miller Coors and just Blue Moon and cans of beer and everything else, from a trailer to golf cart to trailers. And that was a chore. And the thing was, we had to drive it, across this entire festival, from where it was on the other side of the festival to these 5, beer things that I'm in charge of. And it was a very crowded day until it started raining tonight. It was Saturday, so it was packed. So we had to drive around the perimeter. So we're driving down Broad Street in golf carts in a processionary line with, we're carrying probably close to 200 or 130 cases of beer per trip. which was pretty funny because we went past the cops each time. They're like, hey, it's like, hey, you stopping here? Because you go past, every single intersection has a cop car blocking it off with, vehicle barriers and everything else because it's a festival and they don't want anyone to do stupid shit, clearly. But that was just a long process, but it's just kind of funny because it made the day go by really fast. Because, we started before lunch and it's like, oh, we have to take a break for lunch. And then we got finished and I'm like, okay, well, I only have half an hour till I have to serve dinner to everybody. So I was like, wow. So that was all day moving that stuff. And not tired then tonight because I was just so, today was one of those days that was just amped up and doing stuff all damn day. And then it rained. Then the rain came and, it sort of put the dampers on everything. We just kind of slowed down to a crawl and just sat there in the golf cart and, watched the rain and people leave. And then sat in the golf cart and watched more people leave. And then the festival finally came back on and, Boney played the headlining act at 8 o'clock. But by that time, it's 90 minutes till, the festival closes. It closes at 9:45. So now it's 9 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, okay. This is, great. Let's do my rounds, go to the 5 bars, tell them, close down procedures, get ready to pick up the iPads and stuff. And boom, 9:45, 10 o'clock, done, clean up and back here. So it was a really painless day in that respect because it went so fast. It really did. Now, I'm a voyeur, okay? Just plain and simple. I love people watching, okay? So festivals for people watching, it's like going to the Ohio State Fair, okay? It is one of those things where if you don't like it, you're going to hate it. But if you do like it, it was just amazing people watching today. Yeah, I forget how good it is to go to see festivals and people watch. The vendors, these are all vendors from all over the country that bring their wares and their barbecue. And some of them are these good old boys are just killing me. They all, and I'll get pictures tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll get all the pictures so I can sort of do a recap. But they have hawkers. Like I said, they have hype men who are like, hey, come on, don't forget, you got to come out. Like, we got the best ribs. Like, they're practically grabbing people walking by to get them in line for stuff. When they closed the festival temporarily, it rained pretty hard. It was pouring rain out. And everyone cleared the main area where they were watching at the main stage. And people were off the street and everything, except for the people in line for the food. Which we were laughing because, these are long lines, but the people had been in line and toward the back for, half an hour. So they were like, screw this. I'm not going to get out of line. I've been waiting for a half an hour for my ribs. So I'm just going to stand here in the pouring rain with an umbrella up and proceed for the half hour more wait to get the food. And it was hundreds of them. Like, you can see all these lines of people that were just, and they're like, there's a danger of lightning. I'm like, and they're under the trees. They're all standing under trees in line to get this. I'm like, maybe this is not the best idea for this. But it was pretty amusing. And when it was raining really hard, there was all these electrical boxes in the back of the one tent I was near. And like these big boxes that have all the stuff plugged into it. And the water's now at the curb line, zooming past it and like getting where it's going to almost crest it. And they're like, what are we going to do? I'm like, okay. So I grabbed one of the plastic chairs because, again, I'm not going to grab an electrical outlet. I grabbed a plastic chair, shoved the plastic chair into the wires, lifted the whole box up. I said, just shove a case of beer under there or something. And we just found a plastic box to raise it up out of the water. But, problem solution. But I did not want to sit there and to have the chance of, an electrical box in this pouring rain, filling with water, and God knows what happens. Because I didn't want to be standing there personally. That was not my intention whatsoever. I didn't want to be the would have, could have, should have's in regret when it comes to electrocution today. Thanks so much. No, not my thing. But it's I didn't see it coming. I was looking. But it was just, kind of ridiculous that these people were standing in line still to get the ribs even after it was pouring rain. They said, the festival is closed temporarily, blah, blah, blah. But that's funny. And again, these hawkers, and then like some of them pulled out like 10 by 10 tents to cover the patrons waiting in line. That like literally pop-up tents and like threw them over the people so they'd stay in line and still get food while it was pouring rain out. Which I can't blame them. They come from everywhere, all over to do this. But I found it amusing. Again, these guys go to any length. These good old boys, because you talk to them a little bit in the morning when they're setting up. How you doing? Oh, I'm doing all right today. We're having a good old time. I'm like, where are these guys from? Oh, he's down from South Carolina. And you can see this. He's a tobacco spitting, guy, and got a big beer belly out to here, and him and the other guy are sitting there talking about, oh man, this is a good festival because of this. This it's just funny. The full carniness of them. And it just amuses me. I'm just amused by all this. And then notice like every cop has a beard, except for the women. But like almost every cop has a beard. It's interesting. I didn't know when that sort of became a thing. I know that cops are allowed to have beards, but it's just like almost all of them, it seems, they all have beards now. And there's horse cops, and there's bike cops, and there's walking cops, and the cops that sit in the cars, because it's a city event. So, like I said, security is paramount. And there's no issues tonight because it was rather subdued by the time, 10 o'clock came, for the fact that it had rained for so long that a lot of people had left, which you can't blame them. No one wants to sit under that rain. And it didn't really get much nicer. The humidity stayed, and it was kind of hot. Because if you're outside, you probably enjoyed the same weather that we all did. But tomorrow is like Thursday. I just do it in reverse. So the festival starts same time, so I'll be down there before 8 and crank it up. And the festival ends earlier. I think it ends at 8 maybe instead of 10. But then I have to do everything backwards. So we have to take everything we put up down, which is all the tables, all the bike rack, all the beer booths, all the concessions, all the signage, all the. So that's when tomorrow night, the likelihood that I will not get done by 11 o'clock is really great. So I'm going to try and figure out what I could do between now and then, because I don't want to break my streak. Because guess what day I would break my streak on? Day 50. So I don't want to break my streak on day 50. So I may have to take the laptop and at least jump on temporarily. And if I get a chance, what I'll do is take the GoPro and edit tomorrow. So that'll be what'll look clear, because my camera will look like crap if I take my laptop. And I'm doing it from the phone. For some reason, I can't connect the phone to this same broadcast, which I don't understand why. Because if I put it in as this, I don't see it. And I think Don pointed out once that when I did that before, it screwed everything up. And he's like, there's a second broadcast. I'm like, no wonder nobody's watching, because I did it wrong, apparently. I think it's because of how it's broadcast. Something to do with through the Black Magic, where I'm using a streaming key. And it's not going through just the camera, because I'm going through multiple cameras, because I've got this camera, again, episode, then this one, and then, of course, yes, that's still here because I didn't get a chance to get rid of it yet. But I will. So there's something that goes on with it that doesn't allow that. So I've got to figure that out before tomorrow, or meaning tonight, or when I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm going to be screwed unless I take my laptop with me and do all the editing and figure it out during the day when I get a lunch break or whatever. Don't know. But I will make it work. There will be an episode 50 tomorrow night. So because there has to be something epic about the 50th episode, halfway to 100. It's like doing a Centurion. If you remember, Centurion was when we were in college, you do a shot of beer an hour, the power hour. Well, this was a shot of beer for 100 minutes. You do the Grand Centurion, 100 shots of beer in 100 minutes, which, if I remember correctly, it was sort of like, take a shot of beer and you're like, it's like, man, this minute takes so long. By the time you're at like 70, it, it seems like 1, 2, 3. It feels like seconds are, minutes are now seconds. Because you're like, oh my God, I just need more time between the 71st and 72nd one. So yes, that's the hour of power. So I don't want to screw up the 50th, because that just feels like that would be the wrong place to have a complete shutdown and not do that. Plus, I wouldn't even be able to go do the best of, because none of these are great in the first place. Because my would have, could have, and should have is that I should have spent more time in college and elementary school and not been such a jagoff and gotten a better education and straight A's and not B's and C's and got a better job. I don't know. But then I wouldn't be having this fun adventure with you all, because I'd be doing something else. And my path would have been wildly different than it was in the music industry, probably. I don't know. Who does? Okay? Is life predetermined? I don't know. Are we living in the Matrix? I don't know. Does any of this really matter? I don't know. Okay? That's all I'm going to tell you. Just remember that glass that held 16 ounces, it just gets heavier over time, but it doesn't actually change the weight. Think about that. And on that note, I'm going to leave you because it's 36 minutes. It's already 12:24. It's late. I appreciate you guys staying here. For the love of God, I am blessed by that you would spend your evening with me and allow me into your homes and lives and just my venting, because it helps my brain that I can just release some of this stuff as opposed to just keeping it all in. So thank you so much for being here and humoring me. At the very minimum, it's humoring me. So, and at the maximum, it's keeping me somewhat sane and out of prison, or who knows what else it might be doing. Oh, crap. Anyway, thank you. Tomorrow, like I said, I will try and do it at 11. Maybe I'll do it earlier. I don't know, because I will have to stop. It'll probably be a truncated one. Maybe I'll set it a maximum of like 30 minutes, because I'll have to stop doing what I'm doing. And at 11 o'clock, I have no idea what the hell I'm going to be doing. But I know I won't make it home. I'm almost certain I will not be home by 11 o'clock. More likely at 1 o'clock. It'll be when I get home. So that would mean I would have missed Sunday completely. And I don't want to do that. I want to try and keep the streak going and then go from there. And then I'm going to have to rethink this whole thing about what I do, so that it's not just doing stuff because, I don't know, maybe some of the news is good. I did have to kind of fall into the rabbit hole a little bit about the astronomer CEO and his head of HR. Because, the two sides of that were very much like, I can't believe it. I can't. It's like, well, it is CEO of a company and HR of the company he owns. So there's where the problem is, in my mind. I agree with the people that say that's a problem right there. Because it's like, the illicit affair is one thing, but it's that conflict of interest, I think, probably, right? I mean, that's where the line kind of gets blurry. And the thing is that, wow, Coldplay. Did you know that? Or was it just random that happened to be where the camera caught it? Because I didn't really realize that it was this giant jumbotron at the, kind of like, holy crap, that's... Did they do it for anybody else? Or the only thing they put up there? Besides the band? Because damn, son. I think that is the FAFO right there. That is as consequential as it gets, right? Anyway, don't forget this. Like and subscribe to this. And that's next Thursday. I'm listening to what's going on upstairs. I'm not sure what's happening upstairs. There's some MMA fight on TV or on YouTube or on some channel. I don't know. Anyway, have a good evening or a good morning, because it is that time. Again, as I said, appreciate you all. Have a lovely, lovely rest of your evening, if there's any evening left for you. And have a great Sunday. It's the middle of July. Have a great Sunday. It's 7:20. Where the hell's the summer going? I don't know. I just know that it's short already. Thank you. Fade to black.